Hey everybody, John from Movie Burners here, back with another movie review, and today I'm going to be discussing the original Paddington film, of course, from director Paul King. Now, I obviously done a review on Paddington 2 a couple of months back. Fantastic film. This was the original that really kicked off this new cinematic franchise of the beloved Paddington Bear. Now, I was a little bit late in getting to see this film. As I said, it was released 4 years ago. I actually never watched it until late last year, but I'm so pleased I finally did get round to giving it a watch because it is a fantastic film. Written and directed by Paul King with the welcome help of the late great Michael Bond, the latter being the man who of course was responsible for the original stop motion TV show, and he also wrote over 200 books on the character. His help would have been very much welcome indeed, and armed with this knowledge, it's not really surprising that the writing, script and general dialogue is a real strength of Paddington. The story is simplistic, but at the same time it has a subtle bit of depth with its creator involved. The essence of a character is very much captured perfectly. The plot is extremely straightforward. Paddington, played by Ben Whishaw, is forced to leave his jungle home in the film where he lived with his elderly aunt and uncle after a terrifying brush with human deforestation, an incident which incidentally leaves his poor uncle dead. He heads to London to seek a new home and a family via an arduous ship journey from Peru. Why, do you ask? Well, his family had an encounter with an inquisitive English explorer from that very city years earlier, who let them know that hospitality would always greet them there in a time of need. After Paddington arrives in the capital and has a heartfelt moment at the train station which inspired his name, left sitting on his lonesome with badgering hungry pigeons being his only companion, it's not long before he's soon living in an opulent, multi-storey London townhouse with the Brown family. Mary, played by Sally Hawkins, has her heartstrings pulled by the little bear and persuades her husband Henry, played by Hugh Bonneville, to help him. His stay is supposed to be temporary at first, but of course the whole family fall in love with the little chap despite his unhealthy propensity for calamity every few minutes. Just as he's settling into his new peaceful life, writing notes to his aunt back in Peru, and all looks up for him, the villainous Millicent, played by Nicole Kidman, steps out from the shadows where she's been hunting him down and stalking in equal measure to throw a spanner in the works, hoping to presumably do him damage, steal Paddington away and add him to her sizable collection of exotic animals at her museum. And I don't want to spoil it any further in case you haven't seen it, but needless to say there's a plenty of action involving these two, including a crazy chase scene within that museum. In regards to performances, Ben Whishaw is wonderful as the title of Paddington. He's more known for his roles in the recent Daniel Craig Bond films Skyfall and Spectre, but this is definitely a different direction for him, and he really does imbue the little bear with a lovable personality, lots of hearts, and at times unintentional comedic moments. I couldn't imagine anybody else lending their voice to this character now. He is really synonymous with him. Nicole Kidman was also fantastic as the villain. It's almost like a Disney villain in terms of its aesthetics. She could have been a Cruella de Vil type character and it wouldn't have looked out of place in any of those films. She was fantastic. I also thought Hugh Bonneville and Sally Hawkins as the two Brown parents were brilliant too, whilst the film was littered with a real litany of smaller roles played by a great selection of British actors, such as Jim Broadbent, Michael Gambon, Julie Walters, Imelda Staunton, and of course Glasgow's very own Peter Capaldi. They were all noteworthy and enjoyable in their own right. The latter in particular was a standout for me as the eccentric Mr. Curry, but it really was a strong ensemble effort by the entirety of the cast. Even the younger duo of Madeleine Harris and Samuel Joslin did very well. I can't talk about this film without giving a deserved mention to the cinematographer Eric Wilson. I'm not familiar with his previous work and I'd be lying if I said otherwise, but Paddington was utterly beautiful to look upon. The sweeping wide shots of London were particularly breathtaking in their beauty. I also loved the side-scrolling nature of the house throughout, with the camera moving up and down the floors seamlessly to focus on different rooms within the house. There was even a full cutaway of every room compartmentalised into a 2D effect at one point. I assume this was a clever nod to the TV show, which sadly I was too young to have seen firsthand. Nick Urata's score was brilliant too. I know him from his work on I Love You Philip Morris, and he really perfectly encapsulated and added to the spirit of the film with this score. It had a magical vibe to it, And if I had to pick my favourite from the original soundtrack, then it would be This Will Do Nicely, with its wonderful spine-tingling string and choir arrangements striking a chord. I absolutely love this film, as I've said numerous times before. It did what many animated films that preceded it often struggled to do, and that is to create genuinely funny moments, which work for both adults and kids. The humour was great throughout. It was almost Laurel and Hardy-esque at times, with 3 prominent scenes that really spring to mind for me being the toilet flooding, the food swapping with the Queen's Guard, and his brief flight whilst pursuing the pickpocket across London. There was something magical about the setting too. I don't know what it was current day in many ways, and yet it felt like it could have been set 60 or 70 years ago too. It felt like an amalgamation of different time periods, and it worked very well. In short, the film was great, the story was well written, the pacing was perfect, and the title of character captured the imagination and heart. And I really can't recommend this film enough. It was utter perfection for me, and that is why I'll be giving it a perfect 5 out of 5. Remember guys, if you're enjoying the content we're putting out, then do subscribe to us on YouTube at Movie Burner Entertainment and on iTunes and Google Play at the Movie Burner Podcast, whilst also giving us a little follow on Facebook and Twitter at Movie Burners. You can also catch up with all the latest reviews we're putting out on the Movie Burner blog at movieburnerintertainment.org. Until the next time, goodbye.